If you think Hereditary was Ari Aster's breakthrough movie, it wasn't. Before A24 even existed, he made a short film most fans have never even heard of. And it's wild. Spoilers ahead. If you felt worried about Ari Aster's mental health after seeing Midsummer and Hereditary, and especially Beau is Afraid, you're gonna have some big questions after seeing The Strange Thing About the Johnsons. This film was his thesis project at AFI. Yes, someone graded this. Shot in 2010. It's 29 minutes of pure psychological chaos that manages to be both horrifying and deeply sad. And what's wild is this is where the Ari Aster formula really begins. That formula? Taboo family drama, gorgeous lush lighting, and the kind of tension that makes you feel unease even without the presence of anything supernatural. This is also where he first teamed up with his longtime DP, Paweł Pogorzelski, who went on to shoot Hereditary, Midsummer, and Beau is Afraid. And you can really see his visual fingerprints starting right here. That glowing, nightmare pretty look that makes everything feel lush and deranged. The very first few seconds of this film make you feel uncomfortable immediately, and it just ratchets up from there. And it's not just because of the incredibly taboo nature of the story, it's the way Ari tells it. He is so good at dragging out tension until it just kind of settles in the pit of your stomach. The story is about a father and son with the world's most twisted power dynamic. The incest is between father and son, but in a twist, it's the son who's abusing the father. And one thing Aster does really smartly is he uses blocking to make that power dynamic clear, without anyone saying anything out loud. There's a shot where the father is low in his study, frantically trying to turn off his computer before his son walks in, and his son appears at the top of the frame, like this large looming presence in the doorway. You instantly understand who has the power in that moment, and it's all told visually. The abuse continues for years, including a horrifying scene on the son's wedding day, where he sneaks off to molest his father, and is accidentally witnessed by his mother, who doesn't say anything. So maybe right around now you're wondering, why on earth did Ari Aster choose this as his topic? Ari Aster said, I was at AFI, which is kind of an industry school. They're very Hollywood-oriented, and they want to train you to become a Hollywood filmmaker. And the films they show the incoming fellows are very politically correct Oscar movies. And I just thought, what's the worst thing I can make at AFI? To ask, what can't I do? And why can't I do it? And how to make it work. Brandon Greenhouse, who plays the son Isaiah, actually helped him come up with this idea. We were talking about topics that are too taboo to be explored, and so we arrived at taboos that weren't even taboos because they were so unfathomable, and the most popular was that of a son molesting his father. So obviously this turns out fine and has a super happy ending. No, I'm just kidding. It's totally twisted and dark. Some have wondered if this film is making a commentary about race because the Johnson family is black and Ari Aster is white. Aster said, the color of the family isn't important. We certainly assume that casting black actors in a film that tackles such transgressive themes would create something of a stir, and it would be a lie to say that we weren't hesitant, especially as many people were advising us against the decision. Billy Mayo, who plays the father, was one of Aster's regular collaborators. They worked together on several early shorts, including Beau, which would eventually inspire Beau is Afraid over a decade later. So perhaps Aster simply wanted to cast the actors who he felt were the best. Something that really stands out when you watch The Johnsons is just how fully formed Ari Aster's filmmaking style already was at that point. He wasn't easing into the weirdness. He showed up to film school like, here's my thesis on incest, enjoy. His early trademarks are already all here. The long suffocating takes, happy music over shocking scenes fraught with tension, the contrast between warm lighting and the coldest human behavior, and of course, up families. Yeehaw! While the short was intended as his AFI thesis, it went on to screen at festivals, leaked online, and unexpectedly became viral. This helped put Ari Aster on the map and pave the way for Hereditary, because one of the people who saw it was Toni Collette. Aster sent Toni Collette a script for Hereditary. They met for lunch, and she told him she had seen The Strange Thing about the Johnsons and liked it. She signed on for Hereditary. So if Toni Collette hadn't seen The Strange Thing about the Johnsons, then we may not have Hereditary. There is actually a whole treasure trove of deranged Ari Aster short films, including a couple starring Rachel Brosnahan. Who would love to see those two team up together again? Have you seen The Strange Thing about the Johnsons? What did you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you like this, check out my shorts, 5 Things You Didn't Know About Hereditary and 5 Things You Didn't Know About Midsummer. I'm Almy Rose. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Do we think Ari Aster is okay?